Here's one today, 4-3 against the Chicago White Sox. That was the first game of a 3-game set, so tomorrow we'll look to win the series. We can get right into the box score, though. Victor Reyes, pretty good game today out there in center. 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. He had a really nice single in the third that scored Paradas. It was right up the middle. Really gave us our first run of the game, and it really gave us some momentum to start scoring other runs that inning. So huge hit by Victor. He also made a great base running play. He didn't let their second baseman tag him, so he went to go tag with the glove, and he had the ball in his hand, and Victor fell backwards, made sure he couldn't tag him, and so he tried to throw at first to get scope, but he couldn't. So great play by Victor there, because if he doesn't do that, I don't know if we score 3 runs this inning. So huge game. I think I'll give him player of the game, him or someone else we'll get into, but we can talk about Scope. 1 for 4 today with a RBI as well. A strikeout in the 6th, but he had a fielder's choice in the 3rd. That gave him an RBI. Like I said, that's the play that Victor Reyes dodged the tag, and then he had a double in the 5th, so a pretty good game from Scope today. Grossman 0 for 3. A couple rough days in a row from Grossman, but he did have a hit by pitch, so that was his 8th last appearance, 2 strikeouts. You don't really see that usually from Grossman, but he'll have a bounce back day tomorrow, I can tell. Cabrera was one of my prediction players, 0 for 2 with a sac fly. He got subbed out in the middle of the game to put Scope at first and bring Willie Castro at second, and then give Harold Castro the at-bat. So really great pinch hit again, but like I always say, Harold Castro should have been playing the entire game. But clutch sac fly from Miggy, so a good game from him. He also had a strikeout and a ground out. Hope he's playing tomorrow, but Harold Castro here, 1 for 1 with the game-winning RBI single. He keeps doing this day after day. Every time we ask him to get a clutch hit, he does it 70% of the time. So I love Harold Castro. I'm hoping we keep him for a long time, and he's actually a mainstay in the starting lineup next year, because I've been calling for it forever, and he always proves me right. So let's hope Harold can get some playing time one of these days. But Haas, 0 for 4 at DH. Pretty rough day. If we last time we looked at his splits, he's awful when he DHs. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have 100 batting average when he DHs, so maybe when he's not able to play the field, he doesn't really have a good feel for his swings, and that could be a reason why he just doesn't bat well. But another rough day at DH from Haas. He hasn't, aside from that homer the other day, he hasn't really been hitting the ball really well, seen it. Not a lot of other hits other than homers or 1 for 4 days, so let's hope Haas can get back on track here to end the season. But Daz Cameron came back up, nice walk in the 3rd. Huge play there to keep the 3rd inning guys moving, or 2nd inning, sorry, that was his walk. He had the walk in the 2nd, and then he had a strikeout and a line out, so a good walk on the 2nd to keep our base runners moving. Dustin Garneau 0 for 3 today. He had to cool off one of these days. So that was today. 2 strikeouts. He did work the count pretty well, though. At a point in this game, we had 5 straight walks, or 5 straight 3-2 counts that should have been walks. So really good job today of working the count on one of their all-star pitchers. But Paradas here, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. His walk started the 3rd inning, and it really kind of put us on the board. If he doesn't walk there, I don't know when we get to Rondon, because he was dominating us, and we were getting to 3-2 in a couple counts, but we were always striking out. So that was the first time we actually got someone on base and got some movement, so that was pretty good. Willie Castro here, 1 for 3 with a run. Paradas was my other player of the game, by the way, so decent game. But Willie Castro, 1 for 3 with a strikeout, single in the 3rd. That moved Paradas to 2nd, so a big single from Willie there. It kept the line moving. We can get into the pitching. Matt Manning, 5 good innings, 3 earned run, 2 Ks. I predicted 6 innings from Matt, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, so I thought he was going to be pitching a little bit more strikeouts considering his last start. He looked pretty dominant from that end, but he pitched to contact today, and he looked pretty good. Just had that one rough inning. Other than that, pretty dominant. Ian Kroll had 2 really nice strikeouts looking. His pitches were moving well. He looks really good. 15 pitches, 9 of them for strikes. Drew Hutch, great game today from him. We're using him just how I wanted to use him. I wanted to use him as a stretch relief bullpen guy instead of like a starter, and that's what Hinch is doing, so I love to see it. He now has a 1.76 ERA, 3 strikeouts in 2 innings, and only 1 hit given up. They look like they couldn't touch his fastball, and considering his fastball is like 92 to 94, I don't know what he was doing to put some extra stuff on it, but they weren't touching it today. Alex Lane came in to get the save, and he got 2 ground balls to Scope and then a ground ball to Willie Castro, so 3 ground balls by Lane there to end the game. Great pitching performance from the whole bullpen. I didn't know if they were going to be able to perform again today, but they did, so we can take a look here at the game-winning hit really quickly. So here it was. There it is, right through the middle of the first base and second base. And then Robbie scored from second, so a huge hit there from Harold. He seems to do this every day. I love having him in the lineup. I'm hoping he will be starting again tomorrow, but tomorrow's game got moved to 1 o'clock instead of a night game, so it's supposed to be 6:40, but it'll be another 1 o'clock game tomorrow and then a 1 o'clock game the next day. So that's a big update there. I don't know who is going to be playing for the most part from the bullpen, because we've used so many people today in the past days, and we're missing so many guys. So I'm guessing tomorrow's going to be like Carlton and Foley. So I don't know how the bullpen's going to work tomorrow, but today was a great win. It was great to get the first win of the series. We made them use a good amount of their bullpen too, so that sets a tempo for the rest of the next 2 games, and I'm hoping we can take advantage of that. I will be back for the pregame and postgame for tomorrow's games.